Microwaves are supposed to be the easy mode for the kitchen, right? But for so many people, they're anything but. So we're going to explore a really simple safety-first system to fix this, making pretty much any microwave accessible by touch with just a few little dots. In the next few minutes, we'll break down exactly what to mark and, this is the important part, why.
I love this quote from the source material because it absolutely nails the problem. Glass Sudoku. It's just a flat panel of smooth, identical buttons. And you know how it is. Under the kitchen lights or with a little steam, any writing on them just completely disappears. It turns a simple task into a really frustrating guessing game.
All right, so how do we actually solve this puzzle? If you could only mark one single button to make things safer and easier, which one would you pick? That's the big question we're going to unpack, and honestly, the logic behind the right answer is probably not what you'd expect.
Okay, so first things first, let's dig into the common mistakes people make. Because it turns out, what feels like the most intuitive first step is actually the exact opposite of what you should be doing.
And this right here, this is the #1 trap. It's this idea of tactile confetti. This is what happens when you try to label every single button. I mean, it makes sense on paper, right? More labels, more information. But when you're navigating by touch, it just becomes, well, noise. When every button feels important, nothing actually stands out, and the whole system just becomes impossible to use.
So, if that tactile confetti is the problem, what's the solution? Well, we need a system. We need a clear hierarchy that puts safety and control way, way above everything else.
And this is the heart of the whole system, the button triage. What's so brilliant about this is the order. See, before you can go, you absolutely have to know how to stop. So first, and always first, you mark stop/cancel. Think of it like your emergency brake. Then you mark start, that's your gas pedal. And then add 30 seconds, which is the safest, most forgiving way to add a little more heat without getting lost in some complicated menu. It's only after those essentials are covered that you even think about marking things like time cook.
And that's really the crucial point here. The goal is not to have a perfectly labeled machine that explains every single popcorn setting. The goal is to have predictable control on your worst day. When you're tired, the kitchen is chaotic, and you just need to heat up some soup without making a mess.
Okay, so we know which buttons to mark. Now, let's talk about how we mark them to build a real tactile map, one your fingers can navigate without any guesswork at all.
The secret here is using what are called anchor points. Just think about the number 5 on a phone keypad. It always has that little bump, right? That's your center of gravity. If your finger can find the dot on the 5, you instantly know where 2, 4, 6, and 8 are. The 0 acts as a landmark for the bottom. These two anchors turn that grid of unknown squares into a map you can trust.
And this all leads to this really cool idea of a dot grammar. It's like a simple, teachable language for your fingertips. 1 dot means a common everyday action, like start. But 2 dots, that means pay attention. This is a critical button, a safety control like stop/cancel. It's that simple consistency that makes the whole system so intuitive and honestly so powerful. And this short story from the source really drives home why this matters so much. A family had put dots on every single button, that tactile confetti we talked about, and it just led to mistakes and scorched soup. But when they stripped it all back to just 5 essential dots and a simple routine, the parent regained their confidence and the family could stop worrying. It just goes to show you, this is about restoring independence, not just about labeling buttons.
So let's put it all together into a simple routine. This isn't just about placing dots. It's about having a 10-second process you can fall back on every single time to get a safe, predictable result. And here's that super simple 4-step flow. You always start by finding the 2-dot stop/cancel button. Why? Because that resets everything. It gives you a clean slate. Next, you use your anchor dots on the 5 and 0 to confidently type in the time. Third, find your 1-dot start button to get things going. And finally, if you need a little more time, you've got that easy add 30 seconds button. It's a calm, repeatable process every single time.
So when you look at it side by side, which approach really makes more sense? This table lays it out perfectly. The minimal 5-dot system, it takes about 10 minutes to set up, it's super easy to maintain, and it gives you high clarity with low friction. The alternative, labeling everything, takes a lot longer and, you guessed it, risks creating that confusing tactile noise. For pretty much everyone, it's obvious that less is truly more.
Maybe the best part about this entire system is just how incredibly fast it is to get started. You can literally make your kitchen safer and calmer in the next 2 minutes.
So here is your immediate action plan. First, place 2 dots on Stop/Cancel. That's your Pay Attention safety button. Then, place 1 dot each on Start and add 30 seconds. Those are your common actions. And finally, put 1 dot on the number 5 to act as your main anchor point. That's it. Just do a quick practice run with no food inside to get the feel of it. You can install this major safety upgrade in less time than it takes to boil water.
So in the end, you can see this is about so much more than just accessibility. It's really about cutting down on stress, ending that frustrating guessing game, and bringing back confidence. And it really just leaves us with one final question to think about. Could these 5 simple dots be the key to bringing a little bit of calm and control back into your kitchen?